see the quick demo of GTA game which I just built in Three.js. So yeah, simply I just click on that, and once you click, now I can just walk, I can jump, and also if I want to run in this complete city, even there is an enemy also is walking in this complete city, so that we can also hit those enemy and kill that enemy as well. So yeah, let me try to kill one of that enemy. So if I just go here and just if I hit over here, so see, if we just hit this guy, so that guy kill, and if I move that, yeah, those are also got killed. Yeah, so like this way actually we can just killed enemy as like GTA clone game over here. We just completely build using Three.js, nothing fancy. So yeah, that we will trying to build all that steps one by one. So let's moving to start implementation. So if you first time visit my channel, so go to my channel which is real world devs, which is recently we just rebrand this YouTube channel. And here I'm especially recommend, if you don't aware that Three.js knowledge, so yeah, you can just go to here and search for Three.js, and there is a couple of session over here. We just build Three.js game from a starting point, so you can just check out like, how actually Three.js can work. Apart from that, if you want to learn complete AI implementation, full stack app, also game development, mobile development and all, so you can learn many things over here. So further ado, let's moving to start implementation. So first let me see what we're trying to build over here. So these are steps actually we need to follow to this build this complete game. Like first we have to set up that scene setup, then load that city, then whatever city we load, just movement in 360-degree, then also we load that player and player that animation, we apply some animation that player, and also that player should be walk on run in this gravity, and then we can just check that movement as well, whatever that player just properly movement based on that key input. And then further we will just use for camera follow. So whatever player actually we just follow this camera as a third person camera. And then next steps would be our collision. So collision also will be detect is there any city or any object and all, they should not be cross that wall and all. So also that next step would be enemies. So we just apply some enemies over there, and then we use that compat so that we can kill that enemies, and this is that final step, finish step. So using those are step one by one, I'll just build this complete game. So let me close that and open a VS Code and just create a simple empty folder over here, which nothing over there. So I'll show you that from scratch, so how we can build this game, GTA game, using the Three.js from the scratch. So go to the terminal, and in this terminal over here, what I can do, I have to just give this command to install Three.js library. So first let me install the Three.js library. So once done, now also we have to create this Three.js application using Vite. So I'll just install that Vite also, that package over here, and then we can just simply use npx Vite, hit enter, and now our application is running. So if you just open this, so currently it is a blank, nothing we have. So let me get it that, so yeah, nothing over here because we don't have any index file on all. So yeah, let me quickly create that index file as well. So simply add this sample template over here to verify like is it running or not. So yeah, I can just close that again and just simply run this and open this, and now I can see it just blank, nothing over there. So that's perfect. Whatever actually we just created new HTML, that is over there, and now we are good to go to setup. Now we can just start the implementation over there. So what would be the next would be we have to redesign our HTML, and also we have to apply some style over there. And next also we can just add another JavaScript file where I can just write all that code of Three.js. So yeah, let me just create CSS file over here. So yeah, I just create that style.cs file, and also I have already handy that is style, so I'll just simply apply that. So next I need to create a JS file. So for that I can just simply create a folder, and inside this folder I can just create a main.js file, and in this JS file we will start writing over it. But before that we can just take a reference or also redesign in our HTML file where I can just refer for those things. So for that, what I can do, I already handy the design, so simply I can just, so what we change over here, I just refer that style, and also we just add one additional canvas over here, so that whatever game we just load it and append it over here, so we just create a canvas so that we can show it over here in the browser. And apart from that, we just add another modules like JavaScript file which we just created over here and refer it here. That's it. So now our setup properly completed and we are good to go to create our logic step by step over here. So for that, what I will do, I'll just simply create over here side by side, so that whatever we're just trying to build over here, that we can easily see it. So let me just close this and rerun again. So simply I can just refresh, and once you refresh, now I can see over here just black skin. That is fine, because that style we just applied over here. And now we are going to start our first step. So this is my main.js. Here actually we just create all that logic step by step which we show over here. That first we have to create that scene scene setup. So go to here, and for such scene setup we have to some prerequisition over here, like some modules we need to record. So yeah, so these are library we need to import, and this library will help to build that all that logic. So this here glf loader will help to load all that glf file and from our object, and also fx loader over here which can load all that fx file. Don't worry about that, what that means I'll tell you, but here I think we are good. And then we have one shared object which we can use across all that steps. So yeah, I'll just create this shared object, and this is has scene, rendered, camera, cities, players, whatever we just seen over there, right? So those are things actually we just create an object over here, and then we have to go next, we have to just create some flags. So let me just create one flag, some flags like where we can check gravity, movement and camera flow, and then move to next, review the loops internally. So for that actually we require this three property like preview id, previewing and preview fins. Then we have to allow all that pre-allocation vector. So for that we can just simply create this pre-allocation or vector. So we are actually we just move basic forward, basic right, compose, com loop, and those are things. So yeah, those are we required. Then next we have to require for preframe. So for we have to just create one function which will help preframe. So whatever frame actually we have to preview, so that we have to push to in this function. And then next we have to create a preview function which will preview all that scenes one by one. So yeah, I just created a preview function, and in this preview function we have to just first check, and then later on we just create a loop function which can iterate the loop and just looping through that iteration, and that's it. And then now next I required a last function which will actually show that all that shadow that in the mesh. So whatever player enemies actually we have to show that another shadow in this mesh. So for that actually we have to record this function, and that's it. So now we are good all that shared function which record all that steps, and then we will start first step where I just create step first to set up all that scene. So before that actually first I'll just create that main function so that I can call that first step. So for main function I can just simply use that, I can just create this main function, and in this main function we will call step by step all that, like step 1 first I'll see step 1, then we'll step 2, step 3, like this way we'll just complete over here, and then finally we can just call this main function over here. So this is how actually will work over there. And yeah, meanwhile actually I can just little zoom it over here until is load anything. Yeah, so now we are good. Now let me create first step which is create the scene. Like first actually we have to just create the scene, right? So I'll just create step 1. Now if you scroll up, so here I just create step 1 which will set up the scene, and here we can set up the scene whatever setup background and fog, and then also create that canvas, actually get that canvas, and then render and just add that canvas over here. And then we set size and all everything actually we set as a default over here, and also camera look position and we set over there, and soft alignment we can just add in the scenes, and then main direction whatever that the sunlight and all shadow, so we just set over here. So that is a pretty much good for 3GS actually if you are aware. So this is a simple coding to create a scenes over here. So yeah, once you're done, now our function is done, right? So we simply, I can just call this function in my first step. So once I just call this function in my first step, so here I just call this guy, and once you're done, if I save it, now if you see my game is loaded. Let me close this, and here my function, first set of function is got created and also applied, and now I'm able to see that scene is created. So that's how actually we can easily build this 3GS game. Now second step would be our what we see over here, right? So the second step would be our loading the city. So for loading city, we require this object, right? By like as a city object we require. Either you can just create it itself, or you can just take it from one of that free options which is available here. So here this option, couple of option is over here, so you can choose anyone, but I'm recommend that is sketch fab actually, which is I see they available is a free model, and simply you can just download a GLF file, and we can just add the GLF file inside this in here. So what I can do, simply I can just create another folder which is look like public. So inside that I'll just keep all that file over there. So here I can just simply paste it. So inside actually just create a asset folder. So here all that asset which available. So first actually we have city which has GLF file, then also both are the enemy. Enemy has those two animation, and we have also player has couple of animation like hit, ideal, jump, run, walk, and all. So how we can just download those files? So you can just simply go to here, so that you can just use Maximo, and in this Maximo actually just provide fpx file along with their character and animation. So you can just simply go and download here and just keep it this folder. And once you're done, now close this, go back to here in this editor, and here what I'll do, I'll just create the second steps which will load the city. So for load the city, I need to just create a one function. Let me just create one function. Yeah, here the simple function where nothing we have to do special, only just create another return function which will just now we have to use the GLF loader library to load that city, and this load city actually we just add that scene and the name and add that scene over here and resolve that. And simply if it is undefined, so we can return back, and also if it is not found, so we can just add some logging over here. So that file, if it is not available, so we can just log it over here. That's it, it's simple. So once you're done, now save it, and also I'll just call this function to in my main function. So here my main function, it's called step 2, and just call this guy and save it. So once you save it, now I am able to see my city is loaded over here, but currently just loaded, I am not able to see anything over here like as per moment like what are city we have. So for that we have to go to the next step, city movement. So that's how actually that city movement will work. Like just load the city, after that we will try into movement. So now we have to apply some logic which can move that around the city using that mouse follow. So for that, so before writing code for now step 3 which will movement this city, actually we have to add some boundaries about the city if this file is not available. So that actually I already created over here inside this city function, but that I not to create. So see, this function we have to just create so that we can set that boundaries. So let me just create this function quickly and save it. That's it, nothing we have to special, just call this function, and this function actually basically just create a boundary complete over the cities if this city is not available and all. So yeah, it is a straightforward logic, so we can just apply. Now we can create that next one which can use that movement. So simply I can just create this function, and if you scroll up here, that city movement, and that city movement actually based on that click, now based on that event click, we just get it and request to follow this camera about that here. And also there is a mouse movement, also use the mouse movement, so that actually just handle that our events and all. So that pretty much good. Enable also just use that wheel where we can just freeze and also that follow that third person camera and all. And I can just simply call this step 3 over there, yes, and then call this city movement and save it. So once you save it, so once you refresh and I just try, see it is not working. Why it's not working, that's I want to show you. So if you scroll scroll up, actually I just create a common function over here initially, right? So that was required for start previewing. So this start previewing actually we required after our setup. So every steps we required to preview, so we required to keep this common function over here, so that once we have just apply any steps, so immediately we can see over here. See, now I can just movement completely over here. Even there is a mouse scroll up and down, so I can just zoom in. So I can just zoom in over here, I can just go here, even I can just zoom out, so I can just see everything actually in this city. I can just movement 360-degree completely, right? So now our 360-degree city movement is done. Now go to the next steps, which will be whatever that player actually. So I'll just open it over here. Yeah, so loading that player as like city load, movement complete. Now we have to load that player. So go back. Now just create another function which will help to create or just load that player. So yeah, this is that load that player over here. I can just create one function and we scroll up here. Yeah, so step 4 player function. This player function is similar to city load. So as like previously we used that ZLF loader, now we are trying to use FBX loader, which will load that player because we are using that FBX file, and then we load that player, and also we just create this logic, and then we just set that player in my over here, and then also we can just create all that walk and all in here, and then this is that position and all, and this is pretty much good. So just save it. Once you save, and just call that step 4 and that step 4 player and save it. Once you save it, now my player is in the city, and which is that T-pose, which is fine because currently does not have any animation and all. And also you can see over there this player actually on that ear, not in the gravity. So those are a step also we have to take in care. So but now my player is loaded in this city, but it's fine. So now moving to go next steps, which is called animation. Okay, so the for animation, let me go up. I need to create animations over here. So first I'll just create one class for that animation. So this is my animation class. We will handle all that animations, like this is the animation actually state management, which first actually that ideal, and then based on that our speed and all, and then our hit or that keyword, so they just create or change that animations like idle, run and walk. So this is simple, and then once we create that, we just create step 5. We'll just apply those animation as a logic. So now we just create this step 5, and in this step 5 what we're trying to do, we are just simply whatever that animation, right? So we just trying to apply, and here, yeah, step 5, and then we just load FBX loader, and all that animation of that player we just load it over here, right? But one thing I just notice over here, see, as we required actually that root asset folder, not a public asset folder. So that is actually the problem we initially did. So yeah, I think you just need to avoid this, because currently on a Vite application, once you try to access in this folder directly your asset or any file, it won't access actually. So that's a problem. So what I can do in this case, simply go back to here and just copy this asset, or just cut from this asset, go back to the root folder and paste it over here. Now my asset folder is over here, and I don't record actually this one, so simply I can just delete that. Okay, my Vite is currently being used. So yeah, let me quickly check where actually this is using. So leave it as of now. Later on we will delete it. Okay, so yeah, let me just again just go through this code, step 5. So in this step 5, we just simply just add the source we are actually getting that player, and then also mixer motion, and just load all that animation from the TVX file, and just apply it one by one based on our input. And this is our hit animation, this is my ideal animation, and then here we just run walk as well here. So those are animation we can just apply it over here and just update it. And once you're done, now we can just add over here just step 5 and call our step 5 animation method and save it. So once you load it, I can see the animation is not applied over here. Why? Just because actually, so whatever that I just create a function, actually there's a asynchronous function, so that is the problem. Actually there is a gap of this loading. So what I can do, we can just simply apply that await, so that once actually they complete, then afterwards actually they can on the other one can complete. So yeah, I think that's way I can just fix this. So simply I can just save it. Now I can see the animation is applied. Now currently actually it is a ideal animation. So here see the ideal animation is applied, so that is fine. Now I think this step also working fine. Now go to that next step, which is gravity. So now currently my player actually it is just here on that city, right? It is not on a gravity. So what I can do, I can just need to create another function which can help to allow to gravity on that ground. So let me just copy that function because I don't want to write that function over here, and here we can just up over there. Yeah, so this is that function where we can just simply call gravity, and this is the flag. We just check, okay, is this flag as a player is a gravity and all, and also we can just check that position and all, and then we can simply update that loop over here, and it will just keep it on this gravity. So yeah, I think then we can just simply apply that in here. Go to that step 6 and just apply this gravity and save it. Once you save it, now see it is just on that gravity, and if I just scroll down, scroll up, it's zoom in. Yeah, so now my player is on gravity. Perfect, right? So now this step also got complete. Now moving to next step, which is let me check which is one. So next one is a movement. So now whatever the player, now it's nothing is doing, right? So now based on our input we will just control this player, so that movement we need to apply it. So for movement actually we need just create another function which is called over here as a movement step, and in this movement nothing is special. So here just call up here that movement function, and we just find that all that keys, and based on that key actually we just put that over here. See, key down, up, blur, and then we just WSD, like arrow key, and then WSD, the both we will control, and also it's going to right left based on this movement, and we can just simply update our preview function. That's it. Okay, and once you're done, now go to step 7, sorry, and just update this step 7 and just apply that. Once you apply, now I have to go, I guess. Yes, now I can see it just okay. So let me zoom in. Currently it's just not follow that camera, so that we need to apply. But yeah, currently see is a first person camera, and if I just go to here, and so now it's very fast. Even if I just run, see it is running properly, and there I can just run, walk, move, light, and yeah, so I think that movement also working fine. So now we are good to go for next steps over there. Now next step is, now go again here, next step would be our camera follow. Now once we are apply that movement, then we will follow that camera. So for that camera, just go up. I'll have to create another function, save it, and just use this function to follow this player as a third person camera control. And here just scroll up, just some logic over there we can just add. And yeah, one more thing actually we have to add over here. Now this follow camera, and also whatever that input system and all as a UI system, as a game UI, right? So that we have also just added over here, like for that click the play to you can run this game, and then WSD for what we're trying to control, what will happen. No, so every key actually we just provide an instruction, and then we are next we just add this update, and then whatever that things, the position and all, we just follow our camera. That's it. So yeah, just call this function in our next step. So go to here 8 and just call to camera follow control, save it, and now let me check. Okay, now I get this screen which can indicate, okay, like how we can just play this game, all that activities and all. We just over here simply space that. Now it is getting over there, and now if I just movement, yeah, now see if it is running, so my camera is following this player. Even if I just go here, just around everywhere, actually we can just easily movement and just run complete city. So yeah, I think this is also fine for this step, but here I can see one issue. See, it's going to that building, right? So this is the issue, that how actually comes to next step, which is collision. So here actually we just detect, okay, so is there any object and all, and also we just set some boundary about this player, so that they have not going to inside that any wall and any direction. Okay, so now that also we need to just create one function. So yeah, I already prepared all that function so that we can easily just show it to you how we can just game actually work, right? So what is steps, how we can build that game, and how we can just apply all these things and over here. So yeah, this is that collision, and just we just create this section or that player section, and then we can just rebuild over there that player, and then design so that player has some collision and should not move anywhere on that. So yeah, it just simply update this function over in this main function. Go to that step 9 and collision and save it. So once you save, now let me check, click on that, and if I just movement and just go back, and if I just check here, see, I'm not going to inside this wall and this object, right? Because now its collision is there. So yeah, I also is fine, perfect. Now this section also got completed. So now what is the next steps? Now again go to here. Next step would be we just apply some enemies. So I already has that enemies file like as a appvx file, so that we have to just load again to randomly actually walk those enemies in the cities, right? So for that we can just use this enemies function 10, I guess. Yeah, step 10, and just that, and go to here. So here that function is step 10, and we just count enemies, whatever enemies you required, you guys just add it, and also just detect over here radius, and also you can just mention whatever things. And then yeah, it is little at a use function, use logic. So yeah, we first actually we just city of that group over here, then we can just go down and return true if false, if that inside by building or use any stop enemies walking. And then also we just create one enemy NPC with the waypoint, patrol, walk animation, and play detection AI. So yeah, using those function actually we can just apply those enemies. So yeah, you can just go through this code, definitely you can understand easily. And now once you're done, now we just update those enemy in this player in this cities, and then also they just apply this walk over there, and also this ideal position. So yeah, I think that pretty much good for this steps. Now go back to your main function, and I can just apply the next step, which is 10, and save it. And once you save, now I should have see those enemies. Yeah, see those enemy actually is this also actually follow me, like whenever I just stand up or is walking over here. So there's all that enemy actually coming to me to hit that. Okay, so yeah, like this way actually we can just easily implement. And also yeah, there's a distance, so yeah, only they can attack me if I want, but yeah, currently there's a no attack for them, but yeah, I can attack them. So for that I think this is that last steps. Yeah, so finally we can just combat where I just attack those enemies, right? So for that we can just use this function which I already have that prepared, and then simply save it, and let me go through that. Yeah, so this is that enemy combat, and just attack range, whatever range you want, so you can just hit, and then also attack angle and attack damage. And then also this click event, actually we just attack based on that left click. So yeah, in the click, then do attack, and this do attack actually will the attack, and they also will damage, and once you damage they will remove that enemies from here. I think yeah, that good. And then just simply apply that so that we can start this game from, and we can play this game. Okay, so yeah, we just apply, and let me test it actually first. So yeah, if I just move this, yeah, I can just attack this guy. See, I can attack even those are also killed. See, in this red square, if I just properly movement, yeah, attacked 2 times actually, just should attack, and then also it's gone. So like this way actually. And now let me just play, because now all the step got completed as like our screenshot. So now I can just play this game completely over here, just refresh, and this is that final here where just play that. Now yeah, I can just attack. Okay, so yeah, all that place I have enemies, so yeah, it's difficult to kill all that guy. So this is this, I think I have to move this enemy side, and then I can just attack. So my god, so many enemy. Okay, let move here. I think so where is an enemy. So yeah, I think this is good, right? Yeah, like this way I can just attack and complete that. So like this way actually you can just build this game in this browser without any additional setup and all. Simple is a 3.js along with the JavaScript and pure HTML. So yeah, I think that pretty much good. And if you want to more, please feel free to add comments so that I can explain. And if you record more game to using this 3.js and also, please add those comments. I'll just prepare those also. So thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe.